For today's video, we're going to take an up-close and personal, in-depth look at the new 2016 Hyundai Sonata Sport. Some of you guys may remember earlier this year we checked out a 2015 Sonata Eco equipped with a 1.6-liter turbo 4-cylinder and 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. This one has the 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, so it's the most powerful out of the bunch, so it's going to be a fun comparison. The link to that Eco review can be found in the top right-hand corner of this video. As always, this is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the Sonata. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip, go over the performance data, take it on a thorough road test, and show you many of the unique aspects of both the interior as well as exterior. A remote smart key entry system is standard on all Sonatas. Just keep the key fob in your pocket and utilize the black button to lock and unlock the vehicle. Our tester is finished in quartz white pearl paired to a black leather interior. This is essentially the standard configuration, and while there's numerous options available, the only ones equipped on this example are the carpeted floor mats, including destination and stickers for around $29,885. To start, all you have to do is just make sure you have the key fob within the interior, then put your foot on the brake, and hit the dash mounted button to go. Sonatas equipped with the 2-liter turbo engine feature a unique rack-mounted dual-pinion electric power steering system that's said to offer a more natural feel compared to the column-mounted setup found in the rest of the lineup, including the Sonata Eco we tested. All setups are speed proportional. I didn't find there to be an extreme difference, but after driving the Eco, this one felt less artificial, I suppose, if only marginally. The steering is also tied to the 3 drive modes. I prefer to leave it in Sport mode, which offered the most resistance. In the normal mode, the steering is light and very smooth. The steering ratio for all Sonatas, regardless of the EPS setup, is 14.3 to 1, and it takes 2.78 turns to lock. The turning diameter is 35.8 feet. Sonatas equipped with the 2-liter turbo also feature a sportier flat-bottom leather-wrapped steering wheel with accent stitching and satin brightwork. There's grip bolsters at 10 and 2, along with a host of multifunction controls on the upper spokes. All Sonatas, aside from the Eco, direct power to the front wheels via Hyundai's 6-speed Shiftronic electronically controlled automatic transmission that delivers smooth and relaxed shifts. The shift knob is wrapped in leather. On the flip side, the Sonata Eco features the new 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, or DCT, that's also controlled electronically. In the Sport, you're not only able to shift the car manually via the console shifter, but there's a set of paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. This is one area where I think the DCT could make a positive benefit. There's nothing wrong with the conventional torque converter gearbox. You can actually alter it through the drive modes along with the throttle sensitivity to hold the gear changes longer and make things a little bit more responsive, but it's not the sportiest feeling transmission in the long run. While the Toyota Camry SE doesn't offer a DCT, it does have noticeable rev matching downshifts with its 6-speed automatic to maintain power linearity, quite a cool feature in this class. Hyundai's DCT features a dual dry clutch with electric separation of the odd and even gears to help eliminate that interruption of torque transfer between shifts while helping boost vehicle efficiency. I absolutely loved the Eco. The gearbox was the shining star that really took advantage of everything the 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder had to offer. Having that increased response with the 2-liter turbo engine would really liven things up, especially when using the paddle shifters. Other than that, the Sport is a nice driving car with good power and fuel economy. Blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert and lane change assist is available, in addition to the standard backup camera with adaptive guidance lines. So let's go ahead and flip on the standard automatic bifunction HID headlamps and the hazards. Both front windows are fully automatic. Now let's go ahead and check out the exterior, shall we? Upon closing the door, the vehicle will sound a chime to let you know it's lost detection of the proximity key fob. When the 2011 Sonata debuted, it was a game changer designed to take the nameplate to a whole new level. Since then, and especially recently, there's been a surge of redesigned models in the midsize sedan segment, including the Ford Fusion, Toyota Camry, Chevrolet Malibu, and Kia Optima, that makes making a decision in this class that much harder. Last year, Hyundai launched the all-new 7th generation Sonata right on the coattails of the recently redesigned 2015 Genesis. Its value-driven lineup is packed with a generous amount of standard and available amenities, with upscale styling and build quality that continues to rival others in this highly competitive segment. The new Sonata isn't so much a game changer this go-around, but an evolution of its predecessor that focuses on enhanced practicality and efficiency. It's available in four basic trim levels: SE, Eco, Sport, and Limited, with a number of optional packages after that. The MSRP starts at $21,750 for an entry-level SE and upwards of $34,075 for a limited 2-liter turbo. On the SE, Sport, and Limited, a 2.4-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder comes standard and develops 185 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. The available 2-liter turbocharged four-cylinder for the Limited and Sport is down on power this year to focus on low-end response and improved fuel economy, but we'll cover that more later in the video. For more info on the Eco model, check out the link in the top right-hand corner of the video. The latest Sonata wears a fresh design approach which Hyundai describes as Fluidic Sculpture 2.0. It blends some signature elements that made its predecessor a showstopper while refining the lines and creating a more mature silhouette. Admittedly, I was a big fan of the predecessor's styling. Comparing the two, the new one is notably less distinctive and unique than before. It blends in a lot. This may be good for some who thought the last Sonata was too polarizing, but in more basic trims I can understand how counter-arguments could say the new styling is a bit too conservative, especially when looking at the redesigned Kia Optima. At the end of the day, though, the Sonata is still an attractive car that's competitively priced. For added flair, the Limited dresses up the body with more upscale elements, but I believe the new design really flourishes with the Sport, especially the Sport 2-liter turbo, which we have here. It takes advantage of the sharp, premium fastback profile by injecting a little dose of aggression. The new body boasts a class-leading drag coefficient as low as 0.27. Up front, general changes include a larger chrome grille and wider intakes. The headlamps still wrap around the fenders, but the design is slimmer. LED daytime running lamps are standard. Defining lines in the hood and upper fascia meet with the corners of the grille, keeping everything well integrated. As before, a chrome belt line extends past the A-pillars and meets with the edges of the headlamps. The main upper side body crease begins at the front fenders and continues to the back before meeting with the tail lamps. Unique elements to the Sport include the dark chrome grille, front and rear fascias, rocker panels, and chrome exterior elements. Out back are signature dual exhaust outlets with quad tips and a lip spoiler. Compared to its predecessor, the 7th generation Sonata improves torsional rigidity and bending strength by 41% and 35% respectively, thanks to high-strength steel making up over 50% of the total platform. Traditional steel weighs about 10% more and simply does not have the same level of rigidity, about half as much as more advanced high-strength and hot stamp steels. In addition to the chassis, more hot stamp components are used throughout the structure, including the B-pillars. The implementation of these materials has a number of benefits and are becoming more common with automakers as they lead to more rigid and stable platforms to benefit handling, occupant safety, and ride quality without gaining a weight penalty, oftentimes leading to improved vehicle efficiency. Sonata Sports equipped with the 2.4-liter engine feature unique 17x7-inch alloy wheels, but when stepping up to the 2-liter turbo you receive these larger and wider 18x7.5-inch 5-split-spoke hypersilver alloys. They're wrapped in two 35/45 tires that can hold a little over 0.8 g of lateral acceleration. As far as the brakes, the 2.4-liter uses 12-inch internally ventilated front discs and 11.2-inch solid discs in the rear. They're able to stop the car from 60 miles an hour at about 120 feet. 4-channel 4-sensor ABS with electronic brake force distribution and stability control comes standard. The 2-liter turbo receives larger 12.6-inch front discs to help balance stopping performance with the added power. Last year, all Sonatas received an updated independent suspension consisting of McPherson struts in front and a multi-link rear setup with front and rear stabilizer bars. The stabilizer bars are slightly thicker in the Sport 2-liter turbo, accompanied by stiffer springs. Dual suspension arms replace the previous single-arm multi-link design to distribute lateral forces more effectively, creating a smoother, more compliant ride that's more stable under hard braking. Together, this leads to shorter stopping distances, improved stability, and better handling. Further improving suspension responsiveness are reinforced side and cross members designed to strengthen the mounting points of the subframe. The subframe's bushings are 17% stiffer than the previous generation in order to deliver more steering feel and greater agility. For 2016, aluminum replaces various steel suspension components to reduce unsprung mass, including the steering knuckle and lower front control arms, along with the rear upper control arms and assist arms. The ride is notably firmer than the Eco we tested a while back, and the car does feel more engaging and fun to drive. The handling is pretty good for a mid-sized front-wheel drive sedan, but keeping its inherent limits in mind, you will experience torque steer and potential understeer if pushed beyond normal means, so it'll be wise to keep that in mind if you're looking at this or any similar competitors such as the Toyota Camry SE. At the end of the day, the Sonata Sport is a sportier version of the Sonata. It's not an all-out sports car. It delivers more flavor and style without too much of a compromise with regards to ride quality and overall behavior. Overall length is 191.1 inches with a width of 73.4 inches and a height of 58.1 inches. Wheelbase is 110.4 inches, while curb weight for the Sport 2-liter turbo is around 3,492 pounds. The Sonata Sport can be had with either of two engine options, a standard 2.4-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder or our tester's 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. The 2-liter features an aluminum block, aluminum heads, dual overhead cams, dual continuous variable valve timing, 4 valves per cylinder, and direct fuel injection. The compression ratio is 10:1, while revs peak around 7,000 RPM. It develops 245 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 260 pound-feet of torque between 1,350 and 4,000 RPM. The power ratings are unchanged over last year, where Hyundai fitted a smaller twin-scroll turbocharger compared to the previous generation to help the engine develop its peak torque earlier in the RPM range, but it came at the expense of 29 horsepower and 9 pound-feet of torque. I would imagine fuel economy targets could have provided some motivation for this as well, but looking at the EPA ratings, it didn't seem to change much aside from a slight improvement in the city rating. That being said, I haven't driven the previous generation turbo, but the new one still had plenty of acceleration for me. I estimated the 0 to 60 time to be around 7 seconds. No, it doesn't have as much power as before, but it's no slouch for daily driving. Engine noise is pretty subdued in normal driving with subtle hints of turbo sounds. The exhaust note is also a bit deeper than other Sonatas. They all carry an 18.5-gallon tank and run on regular 87 octane. EPA estimates range between 23 miles to a gallon in the city and 32 on the highway, averaging around 26 miles to a gallon. For 2016, the interior carries over relatively unchanged aside from a new radio, which we'll cover in just a second. It sports a clean and functional design that takes subtle cues from the larger Genesis. Overall build quality is pretty good, everything feels solid and well put together with plenty of soft surfaces covering the essential touch points, including but not limited to the upper and middle door panels, upper dash, and center console armrest. The doors carry all of your power accessories such as windows, locks, and mirrors, along with copious amounts of storage in the bottom panels. Inside, the Sport also features a unique instrument cluster and silver faux aluminum trim pieces. In our tester, the driver's seat is 8-way power adjusting, including lumbar, while the passenger seat is manually adjusting, including height adjustment. Both front seats are heated as standard. A 6-way power passenger seat with ventilated front seats are available. Memory settings are available on the Limited. I thought they were comfortable and supportive, if not a bit on the firm side. They're definitely sporty, and I loved the lateral support. With the 2-liter turbo, you also have turbo embossed on the backrest. I also really like the new interior layout. Yes, it has less curves than before, but the interior does a great job incorporating a more premium vibe. It also feels more driver-focused, especially when looking at the center stack, which is tilted slightly towards the driver. A manual tilt telescoping steering wheel is standard along with aluminum pedals for the Sport. The glove box is locked-in and has a tremendous amount of space. The apertures in the front bulkhead have been reduced, along with the increased use of sound-deadening materials in the dashboard to prevent unwanted road noise from entering the cabin. There's a little bit of wind noise around the A-pillars, but that's about it. Additional sound deadening was used in the floor pan with an underbody tray made of fibrous glass expansion board for improved aerodynamics and noise reduction. A driver's knee airbag is standard. Despite being in the mid-size sedan class, the EPA classifies the Sonata as a large car. It boasts a tremendous amount of interior room, including additional rear seat space over its predecessor. A powered sunroof is available on the Sport, but if you want a panoramic roof, you have to go with the Limited. So let's go ahead and see if she sounds both sitting still and on the road. Now let's go ahead and shut her up and check out some of the interior features. Last year, the Sonata came standard with a 5-inch color touchscreen radio along with a 6-speaker audio system and satellite radio. For 2016, a new 7-inch touchscreen is now standard, basically a scaled-down version of the 8-inch infotainment navigation system you get in higher trim packages. For the Sport, you can also upgrade to a premium Infinity 10-speaker audio system with subwoofer and 400 watts of total power. We've covered the larger 8-inch touchscreen in previous videos, so if you want to see the ins and outs and how it all works, which basically applies to the general features of this 7-inch system, click the link in the top right-hand corner of the video. You have side curtain airbags, grip handles up top and padded visors, small card holder to the right, and illuminated vanity mirrors. Continuing down the center console, right above the infotainment system, you have an in-dash CD player, and to the right, the little display button allows you to turn the screen off. Right beneath that are some redundant controls for the main features of the infotainment system if you didn't want to actually go through the touchscreen itself. So, radio, media, your Bluetooth telephone, seek, track, rewind, fast forward, accessing your apps menu, the Blue Link system, as well as these system settings.
Turn Bluetooth on from your device in order to search. On your device, select the name that matches vehicle name on the screen.
And right beneath that is a standard dual-zone electronic automatic climate control system with your temperature to either side, 3-stage heated seats for the driver and passenger, fan speed, different zones, front and rear defrost, and automatic. In the very bottom, you have a little storage cubby with two 12-volt power outlets, an auxiliary port, and a USB port. Continuing across the center console, there's two small storage trays, two cup holders, and a padded center console. Open it up, there's a removable storage tray, and a pretty good amount of space. As far as the steering wheel, on the right-hand side, you have your cruise control and the controls for the driver information system located in that little digital display in between the instrument cluster. That flickering is just an effect of my camera. If you hit the menu button, you go between your trip computer, audio, service intervals, as well as some personalized options. This is the menu button, a little toggle lever to go between the different sub-menus, and OK when you find a selection. On the left-hand side, you have your radio controls, hands-free telephone, voice commands.
Please say a command.
Help.
Here are some of the available commands. Please say or select one.
Behind the steering wheel, the right-hand stalk corresponds to your intermittent wipers, and to the left, your lighting and turn signals. In the left-hand side of the dash, in the very bottom, you have your trunk release, fuel cap, traction control, and the top, your interior lighting dimmer, as well as your blind spot monitoring system. When activated, it shows up in that little indicator to the far left. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and shut her down. Now let's go ahead and check out the back seat space and amenities. If you're shopping for a car in this class, one thing that you're going to definitely like about the Sonata is the fact that it has a very, very roomy interior. I'm 5'10", and with a comfortable seating position for myself in front, I easily have 6 inches of leg space, probably even 7. Head space, about 1.5 inches, I guess, towards the very rear portion, but where the headliner opens up in the middle, you probably have as much as, 2.5, 3 inches. It's very roomy, and I'm very comfortable back here. These seats, just like the front, they're definitely on the firm side, but you have a little bit of lower back support. The seats still have a good amount of cushion, and you have a full padded armrest right here, which is nice and wide, a lot of soft padding, 2 cup holders in the middle right there, so not too bad. Build quality, just like the front, is fantastic. You have the same soft touch elements, including the upper door panels, the midsection, and across the armrest. This one is very nicely equipped. It's basically the standard trim, the Sport 2.0 Turbo. You also have a Sport 2.0 Turbo Limited, which is obviously one step above this. And I believe that has heated rear seats. This one does not. And if it's anything like other Hyundai products and limited trims, like the Tucson we checked out not too long ago, it had heated back seats. So I haven't double checked, but I believe that comes with that package. You have good storage across the bottom of the door panels right there with a water bottle holder, 2 storage pockets on the back of the seats, air vents down below, as well as a 12-volt power outlet. Of course, you have side curtain airbags up top, grip handles, a coat hook on this side, 2 additional coat hooks on the B-pillars. You also have reading lamps here, small quarter windows in the back for better visibility, as well as 2 additional headrests for the outer portion, and a pretty good sized fixed middle headrest. So even if you are sitting in the middle, the Sonata can seat up to 5 people, it's not too bad. I don't think you're going to be fighting for shoulder space that much, maybe a little bit if you got 3 people my size back here. There's a little drivetrain hump right here, but it's not enough to hinder leg space or anything like that for either of the passengers back here. And headroom is still pretty decent. In the middle, probably about 2 inches or so of headspace. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the interior. A couple other things to point out. You do have child seat anchors for either of the outer portions, and this whole seat back can be folded down in a 60-40 split fashion so you can load cargo all the way to the front. But we'll talk about that when we get to the trunk space next. So, very roomy interior, nicely appointed, comfortable back seats. I mean, you really can't go wrong with checking this out, and I highly suggest it if you're looking for something of this size in this class. So, let's go and check out the trunk space. The Sonata is available with a hands-free smart trunk similar to what you would find on a Genesis. If you keep the key fob in your pocket and just walk by the vehicle, it won't open. You actually have to stand behind it for a few seconds. The car will recognize your intention and go ahead and pop the trunk for you. This feature is standard on the 2.0 Turbo. Inside, you have around 16.3 cubic feet of cargo space, which is pretty good for the class. You can also fold down the seats 60-40 split fashion and load up cargo all the way to the front seat to increase practicality.